Welcome to the What is Stoicism podcast.
In his book Being Better, Stoicism for a World Worth Living In, Kai Whiting makes the following assertion about the ancient philosophy. Quote, Stoicism won't remove all of life's obstacles, but it helps us to think differently about them. It won't provide us with all the answers, but it gives us the ability to form the questions that ultimately lead to the solutions. End quote. He also goes on to say the following, quote, It asks us to commit to seeking and progressing in virtue rather than mere pleasure, to value long-term character building over short-term gains, and to hold ourselves accountable to our own moral code rather than adhering to arbitrary rules or following practices promoted by the latest celebrity or guru. It is not about specific practices or philosophical life hacks or strategies for getting ahead, nor does it offer up tips or tricks for shaping our abs, gaining likes on social media, doubling our salary overnight, or tidying up our living space. Instead, it makes it very clear that becoming the best version of ourselves involves striving for an excellent character, one that can effectively help us create a world worth living in, both for ourselves and for others. End quote. Kai's words may sound surprising to those of us seeking guidance, but I think it's freeing to know that philosophy doesn't order us to take exact actions. It doesn't prescribe rigid steps. Instead, it empowers us to discern which are the right actions for us. It's flexible in how it guides us to become the best version of ourselves. With ready-made answers and directives, it would be impossible to know thyself, to quote the ancient philosophical maxim. But with the right questions, we become intimately acquainted with our own thoughts, intentions, and behaviours. By performing reflections and reviews using self-questioning, we can see where we're falling short of the standards philosophy sets for us and resolve to do better. With this in mind, here are 11 short Stoic rules for life that aren't really rules at all. Rather, they're important questions that Stoicism gives us the ability to ask ourselves so that we might keep building our own excellent character. Question 1. Am I grateful for everything? The Stoics didn't just promote practicing gratitude for the good things that happen to us in life. They also demonstrated the value of being grateful for the difficulties and challenges we face, because it's these times that strengthen us and build our character. The more we notice the small things in life, and the more we can appreciate what adversity does for us, the more there is in life to be grateful for. Question 2. Are my words and actions in alignment? Good character is proven only through consistently good actions. It is ultimately meaningless to explain our philosophy of life to anyone if we don't go on to embody it in everything we do. Integrity is ensuring that whatever intentions we set, whatever words we speak, our actions are in alignment. Question 3. Am I facing my fears in a manageable way? Fears can seem insurmountable when we compare how we feel now to how we want to feel in the future. The Stoics emphasize the importance of repeated training in improving the mind's responses to all situations. In the same way that physical improvements don't happen without continuous exercise, a little at a time, mental improvements, including overcoming fears, don't happen without consistent effort. If you take it step by step, without expecting too much too soon, you'll get there. Question 4. Am I striving to do a little better each day? The art of living, the practice of philosophy, is the decision to try to be a better person. This isn't just a vague wish for the future. It's the compounded sum of the actions you take each and every day. The best way to make this a specific practice is to carry out a brief daily review. Before you go to bed, look back over the day's events and simply ask, what can I do better tomorrow? Question 5. Am I accepting the past and learning from it? The past has passed. It's a simple certainty, but we constantly refuse to believe it by holding on to regrets for too long and wishing we could travel back in time to relive certain situations. When we accept we can't change it, while extracting the embedded lessons that every event provides us with, we can start to let go of the past's hold on us. Question 6. Am I showing kindness and tolerance to others? When you get something wrong, it's nice to be corrected thoughtfully by someone who admits to making the same mistake previously. When you don't know something, it's a relief to be gently informed rather than ridiculed. Knowing you have the power to show that kind of compassion to others is invaluable. Question 7. Am I being strict with myself, but never abusive? Stoicism stresses the importance of self-discipline and being strict with oneself. This is not to be confused with mentally punishing ourselves when we fall short of our standards. Being strict is making virtuous choices in the short term to realise benefits in the long term, and resolving to do better, not beating yourself up when you falter. Question 8. Am I planning for the future without obsessing over it? The future is uncertain. No matter how sure we are of an outcome, external factors, fate, fortune, whatever you want to call it, can always intervene. It may seem counterintuitive, but this limitation actually liberates us. When we know we'll never be able to gain certainty about the future, we can stop trying to do so in the present. Instead, we can plan as best we can, give our all, and let the outcome take care of itself. Question 9. Am I exaggerating problems or imagining them where none exist? Some things torment us more than they ought, wrote Seneca. Some torment us before they ought, and some torment us when they ought not to torment us at all. Keeping in mind that we tend to suffer more in imagination than reality, it is important to keep watch on our thoughts and ensure we aren't adding a second layer to suffering by being sorry for our sorrow. Question 10. Am I focusing more on what is within my control than what is not? According to Epictetus, the chief task in life is this: to identify and separate matters so that you can say clearly to yourself which are externals not under your control and which have to do with the choices you actually control. If you can apply this dichotomy of control to everything you face in life, you will greatly minimize time wasted on things that you can't ultimately affect. Question 11. Am I using the shortness of life as motivation to live a good life immediately? We're constantly reminded that life is short. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, the longest life and the shortest life come to the same thing. Don't act as if you're going to live 10,000 years, he goes on to say, because fate is hanging over your head. While you live, while you can, try to be a good person.